So they'll be calling you a radical to talk basketball. What's that got to do with the environment Fukushima? By the way, natives played basketball for thousands of years, right here. Natives, indigenous people played basketball for thousands of years. We're going to talk basketball metaphor. Why is that so important? NCAA says we can start playing again on March 25th. I used to do the play-by-play there. For free, by the way. For decades, I've been involved with this basketball program since the 60s. I worked for Ronald Baglin, all these guys. Weber State, policing the empty parking lots. Fuck you gawking at. Taxpayer public lands. Universities, taxpayer state. Don't make a YouTube video at the D Event Center that was built for music. I had one of those tickets. They sold tickets in 1970, $500. So, seat for life. What a sham that ended up being. Because Jethro Tull in there, Fleetwood Mac in there, all these beautiful, because the self-right, so it's the most underutilized building in the world. It's empty all the time. Empty. And why is this so significant to Fukushima? Because when GE and Utah Construction merged, Utah Construction, the parent company, built all the nuclear, including the ones at Fukushima, Japan. They cheated. That's what built this house. Hello. At the head of the snake, Weber State University. Well, I grew up right here. I grew up right at this sacred inch of ground. Self-righteous Americas. Don't make music at the building that was built to make music. Taxpayer paid, funded now. So, let's talk basketball. And why basketball? Lillard played here, runs down, say her name, but he won't say her name. I'll be talking to Damien soon. I like him, by the way. I'm a little disappointed at, his meat. But, that's what billions do to you. That's what basketball is, from hard hats to crowns. Why do I say hard hats to crowns? Hard hats. Dick Motta coached here at the old Swenson gym. Yeah. Remember Unsell's hard hat crew? I have one of those original hard hats. I used to go to those games. What a player, Willie Sojourner. The average NBA player in the 1970s, when they won it, the Bullets, Motta's team, and over till the fat lady sings, that's Dick Motta's line. He coached here. So did Gene Shue. So did Gene Vischer. So did, Phil Johnson. So did Ronald Baglin. So, they went from hard hats to crowns. The average NBA player, when they won it, made less than 3 times the average working class in America. You don't think that's significant? You don't think that matters? Oh, it matters. Here comes the Weber State parking Nazis. God, I hope they come talk to me. They're going to get an ear from me. So think about this. So the Tennessee Titans says we're going to start letting fans in. Now, how are they going to let fans in the NCAA basketball? So think about unleash the Lions in the Coliseum. So think about that. 10% of season ticket holders. Now, how are they going to do that? Now, you think about what those tickets are going to go for. So it's going to end up even bigger elitism. Now, NBA, I used to have season tickets to the Jazz. First year right here, $140 for the year. I had them until '99. I got rid of them. When they disrespected Jerry Sloan, and these prices are off the hook. What it costs for the season now, one shitty freaking regular season game that the players don't even give a shit. Go King James. So let's talk, and I'm going to tag this the top 5 basketball players. The number 1 basketball player in the history. By the way, Watt Mikowski's the first player of color in the history of the NBA. Oh, he played at Weber State, 2 national champions. They won't even mention his name. Why? I guess because he's Japanese. I don't know. How about Kathy Miller? Only female in the state. Number 44. They don't mention her name. I can go on and on and on. How about Fawn McKay Brody? How about Bernard? I can go on and on. This corrupt. How about Trevon Smith? Say his name, who Damian Lillard knows personally. Let's see, beat to death in a jail cell. By the way, this is the death by cop capital of the world, bar none, is Utah. So, the guy that got shot on the motorcycle by the cops yesterday, right over here in Kaysville, oh, I know him. Whoa. It's a dichotomy. It's a cultural problem. So, who's the greatest basketball player? in the history of basketball, which was not invented by some Canadian with a peach basket. The natives invented it. That's how it goes. It's unarguable. You take high school, you take college, you take NBA, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No one even, what he did in college is, when he was a freshman, they played the national championship. Remember, freshmen couldn't play, so they had a freshman team. They played the national championship senior team. He beat them by 20. Do you know what kind of run they went on? He said he learned his moves from George Mikan. He's the greatest player. High school, he lost, I think, one game at Power Memorial Manhattan. NBA, multiple titles, all-time scorer. He's the greatest. Now we go NBA. Just if you take NBA, remember we had those crossover players, ABA, NBA, Willie Sojourner, who named Dr. J, Virginia Squires. They both drafted together. Yeah, Willie played here at the old Swenson Gym. Kobe, great Italian player. How about Rick Barry? Okay, all those great ABA players, Julius Erving, George McGinnis, those crossover players, they don't get shit for credit. They just won titles in both leagues. So, NBA, the greatest player of all time, well, I put it in the top 3, and you can debate those 3 over till the cows come home. They're all 3 that good. Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you can debate those 3 till the cows come home. It would be number 1 would be Wilt Chamberlain. He averaged 50 points. Averaged 50 points in a season. Not a shortened season. The greatest athlete, probably? Oh, yeah. But remember, he couldn't beat Bill Russell, could he? There's a hell of an argument for Bill Russell. Who's number 5? He just died. Everybody just skips over him. John Havlicek. What did he win, 8 titles? He would have had 9 if he wouldn't have got hurt in Game 6 in that Knicks thing. Remember, he won titles without Bill Russell. And they were huge underdogs. JoJo White, he was all that, then some. And then you can start getting into, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all these great players, you can, Bob Pettit, George Mikan. I always go back to Walt Bellamy, what a player. But titles matter. Ask Stockton and Malone. I watched Stockton playing here. I watched Jimmy Valvano cut down the nets here. I watched Damian Lillard head by 22 points in the Big Sky Championship game at halftime lose. I did the call. I did the play. Exactly to the moment, 1 year to the moment of 3/11, the nuclear disaster at Fukushima. They built it. One day you'll realize and you'll connect these dots. Kobe Bryant. Kobe means greatness in Japanese. Oh yeah. COVID. Hebrew word for Kobe? Oh yeah. COVID-19. His tragic death 2 days before the first one was traced here in the U.S. to the Wuhan lab. Come from the sea. Kobe Bryant, to a trainer I know. Here. He used to train here. Kevin, Kobe Bryant's a lot like you. He's a big number guy. Like you. He stayed on his side. He's a lot like you. What do you mean? He says he's a number dude. By the way, I shot this video at 8:24. The other one up on the hill. What's that significant? Kobe Bryant. Isn't it amazing how sport, especially basketball, not only will mirror culture and reflect culture and tell the tale of all culture, it's out in front. It tells you what's going to happen in culture before it even happens. Ken Burns, 9 innings. Kobe Bryant, Kevin Blanche, The Elasticity of Time, Metal Braun, Fractal Physics on Chemo. This is the house, the nuclear. But one day you'll connect these fucking dots. Let's look at Fukushima again. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Together. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Right this time. You gotta go with that laugh, Marty. I had a talk with Jared Carter. I said, don't even mess around with that supplemental NBA draft. Go right to Europe. 13 players from here are playing in Europe. By the way, Zach and those guys won it. I got fired for saying fuck the NCAA and going after them, the corruption on this university. How do you get fired for a job they begged you to do for free? I mean, they begged me to do it for free. Oh, look who that is. Let's talk about it. He's 96. Oh. This is a hell of a sacred ground. I've always known that since I was a kid. Stay tuned.